You should leave before the cameras notice you.
She looks like she doesn't belong here. I heard Damian already replaced her. Poor woman.
No one wanted to defend the woman everyone believed had already lost. The champagne glass slipped from Damian Cross's hand the second the host smiled at his glamorous mistress instead of his wife, because only one name could receive the Lifetime Achievement Award that night, and everyone believed it would never belong to the quiet black woman he had just pushed aside. The grand ballroom sparkled with gold lights and soft music. Rich people laughed as cameras flashed from every corner. Every table held flowers that cost more than most people earned in a month. Everyone had come to celebrate the city's biggest business leaders. Damian stood near the stage with a perfect smile. Beside him stood Celia, the famous model who had become his newest public partner. Her silver dress shined under every light. Reporters called her beautiful. She smiled at every camera like she owned the room. Just a few steps away stood his wife, Nia Cross. She wore a simple navy blue dress. No diamonds, no loud makeup. Her hair rested neatly over her shoulders. She looked calm, but her eyes carried years of quiet pain. Many guests whispered, "She looks like she doesn't belong here." I heard Damian already replaced her. Poor woman. Nia heard every word. She answered none of them. Damian finally looked at her. "You should leave before the cameras notice you," he said in a cold voice. Nia blinked once. "I was invited." "You were invited because my office forgot to remove your name." Celia gave a small laugh. "It would save everyone embarrassment." Several guests smiled. Others looked away. No one wanted to defend the woman everyone believed had already lost. Nia looked at Damian for a long second. "I hope tonight gives everyone exactly what they deserve." She turned and walked toward the back of the ballroom. Damian rolled his eyes, always trying to sound wise. He never noticed the chairman standing nearby. The older man watched everything without saying a word. The lights dimmed. The host stepped onto the stage. "Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Global Vision Gala." The room exploded with applause. One award after another filled the evening. Best Young Entrepreneur, Best Charity Program, Best Innovation Leader. Damian accepted an award for business growth. Cameras surrounded him. He thanked investors. He thanked his executive team. He thanked Celia for bringing new energy into his life. He never mentioned his wife. Across the room, Nia quietly clapped. No anger crossed her face, only peace. That strange peace made the chairman curious. If this story is already pulling you in, take a moment to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and tell everyone in the comments where you are watching from. There is much more waiting ahead, and every twist changes everything. The music returned while dinner was served. People moved from table to table. Business deals formed between smiles. Damian proudly introduced Celia to powerful investors. "This is the future beside me." Many nodded. One investor asked softly, "What about your wife?" Damian shrugged. "Some people belong in yesterday." Not far away, Nia spoke quietly with one of the kitchen workers. The young waiter looked nervous. "My mother still talks about you," he said. Nia smiled warmly. "How is she doing?" "She walks again." "That makes me happy. You paid for her surgery. You needed help." "I never forgot." The waiter hugged her before returning to work. Several guests watched with surprise. "Who is she?" "No idea." The chairman noticed again. "Interesting," he thought. "Very interesting." A few minutes later, another woman hurried toward Nia. She wore a business suit instead of an evening gown. The woman almost cried. "I finally opened my company." Nia hugged her. "I knew you would. You believed in me before anyone else. You earned it." Damian frowned from across the room. "Who keeps talking to her?" Celia smiled. "People feel sorry for sad stories." Damian accepted that answer. He never asked another question. The orchestra stopped. The host returned. "Ladies and gentlemen, we have reached the final award of the evening." The room became silent. Everyone knew which award remained. The Lifetime Achievement Award. The highest honor. One winner. One speech. One unforgettable moment. Damian straightened his jacket. Celia squeezed his arm. "This is your night." He smiled. "I know." The giant screen behind the stage showed photos from the winner's life. Children laughing. Schools opening. Hospitals growing. Scholarships changing lives. The audience smiled. The pictures continued. Hands helping strangers. Books reaching poor neighborhoods. Small businesses opening. Families celebrating. the room filled with quiet emotion. Damian whispered, "They found wonderful footage of my charity work." But something felt strange. None of the pictures showed him. The next image appeared. A pair of familiar hands planting a small tree beside smiling children. The camera slowly moved upward. A woman appeared. Simple clothes, gentle smile, calm eyes. Nia. The ballroom froze. Damian stopped breathing for one long second. Celia stared at the screen. That can't be right. Guests looked at one another. Some laughed in confusion. Others checked the program again. The chairman slowly stood. His face held deep respect. The host smiled. "Before we announce tonight's winner, we want everyone to know something." The room became so quiet that even glasses stopped clinking. For 25 years, one person has quietly built schools, rescued businesses, funded hospitals, created scholarships, and changed thousands of lives. People looked around. She refused interviews. More silence. She refused publicity. Someone whispered, "Who is she?" She never placed her own name on a single building. Damian's smile disappeared. His heartbeat grew louder. The host continued. Many famous people accepted credit for projects they did not begin. Damian slowly turned toward Nia. She remained completely still. No fear, no excitement, only quiet patience. The chairman walked onto the stage himself. "I have waited many years for this moment," he said. His voice shook with emotion. "Our winner asked us to keep her identity secret until tonight, because she believed kindness should never become a performance." Every camera pointed toward Nia. Guests followed the cameras. Faces changed. The same people who had mocked her minutes earlier suddenly looked confused. Some even stood. Damian felt the floor disappear beneath him. He whispered, "What is happening?" The answer was only seconds away. The host looked across the ballroom with a gentle smile. Then he spoke the words that no one expected.
And the winner
Our Lifetime Achievement Award goes to Mrs. Nia Cross. For one long second, nobody moved. Then the room exploded. People stood so quickly that chairs scraped across the floor. Loud applause filled every corner of the ballroom. Some guests wiped tears from their eyes. Others stared at Nia with open mouths, trying to understand what they had just heard. Damian could not clap. His hands felt frozen. Celia looked around with a weak smile that quickly disappeared. Every camera that had followed her all night now turned toward Nia instead. The chairman walked down from the stage himself. He stopped in front of Nia. "It is time," he said softly. Nia nodded. She took a slow breath and followed him toward the stage. Every step changed the room. The whispers that had mocked her only minutes before became whispers of shock. She was the winner? How is that possible? I thought she only stayed home. I never even knew her name. Damian suddenly remembered something from years earlier. Every month, money had quietly left one of their family accounts. Whenever he asked, Nia simply smiled. It is helping someone. He had never cared enough to ask who. Now that memory felt like a heavy stone resting on his heart. Nia reached the stage. The chairman handed her the crystal award with both hands. "This belongs to you," he said. She accepted it with a humble smile. "Thank you." The applause continued. It lasted so long that the orchestra quietly stopped trying to play over it. When the room finally became quiet again, Nia stepped toward the microphone. She looked across hundreds of faces. Some were smiling. Some looked ashamed. Some could not even meet her eyes. She spoke with a calm voice. "When I was a little girl, my mother told me something I never forgot." The room listened closely. She said that a tree never eats its own fruit. A river never drinks its own water. Good things exist to help others. Silence filled the ballroom. I believed those words. She looked toward the audience. So every time life blessed me, I tried to pass that blessing forward. Pictures appeared behind her again. A school, a shelter, a hospital wing, a training center, a food bank. Each one carried a different public donor's name. The audience looked confused. Nia smiled gently. I asked every organization to place someone else's name on the buildings. Gasps spread across the room. I wanted people to support kindness because it mattered, not because they remembered my face. The chairman quietly wiped his eyes. Damian felt his chest tighten. He suddenly realized why nobody had ever connected those projects to his wife. She had hidden herself on purpose. The host stepped forward again. There is something else everyone should know. Another video appeared. Old letters, bank records, photos, Short interviews. One after another, people spoke. A teacher, a nurse, a firefighter, a single father, a college student. Each person told the same story. She helped me. She believed in me. She saved my future. She asked me never to tell anyone. The ballroom became completely silent again. Then another surprise arrived. The host smiled. Tonight, some of those lives are here. The side doors opened. More than 50 people walked inside. The young waiter entered first. Then the businesswoman. Then children wearing school uniforms. Doctors, teachers, parents, small business owners. Every person walked toward the stage. None looked at Damian. Every one of them looked only at Nia. One little girl hugged her tightly. My brother can see because of you. Nia smiled through quiet tears. I'm happy for him. An elderly man stepped forward. My grandson became an engineer because you paid for his education. Another woman spoke. My bakery stayed open because you gave me a loan when every bank said no. The stories continued. Each one struck Damian harder than the last. He had spent years chasing magazine covers. His wife had spent those same years changing lives, without asking for applause, without asking for credit, without asking for thanks. If this story has surprised you so far, share your thoughts in the comments. What would you do if you were sitting in that ballroom tonight? And if you're enjoying the journey, don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another unforgettable story. Damian finally forced himself toward the stage. Nia, she turned calmly. We need to talk. The chairman quietly stepped aside. The cameras followed every movement. Damian lowered his voice. Why didn't you tell me? She looked at him with kind but tired eyes. I tried. His face changed. No, you were always busy. I would have listened. She gave a small, sad smile. You only listened when the conversation was about you. Those words hurt more than any public embarrassment. He searched for an answer. None came. Before he could speak again, another voice interrupted. Actually, there is something he still doesn't know. Everyone turned. An older woman walked toward the stage. She was elegant but simple. The chairman greeted her with deep respect. Damian frowned. Who is she? The chairman answered, before anyone else could. This is Eleanor Hart. The name echoed across the ballroom. Every business leader knew it. She had built one of the largest family investment groups in the country. She almost never appeared in public. Eleanor smiled at Nia. My dear. Nia embraced her warmly. Damian stared in disbelief. You know each other? Eleanor looked at him. I know her much better than you ever did. The room fell silent again. Eleanor faced the audience. 26 years ago, I was looking for someone honest enough to protect my family's charitable foundation after I retired. She looked proudly at Nia. I found her. More whispers spread through the crowd. Eleanor continued. For over 2 decades, she has managed billions of dollars in charitable investments. Damian's eyes widened. Billions? He had never heard that word connected to his wife. He suddenly remembered countless evenings when she quietly worked on her laptop after everyone else had gone to bed. He had laughed. Still doing your little volunteer work? She had simply smiled. Now every one of those memories came back with painful clarity. Eleanor lifted another envelope. There is one final announcement before the evening ends. The ballroom became completely still. Even the reporters lowered their cameras, waiting. Damian felt his heartbeat racing again. Whatever was inside that envelope was about to change everything once more. Eleanor slowly opened the envelope. The ballroom became so quiet that every breath could be heard. She looked toward Damian first. For years, people believed Mr. Damian Cross built one of the most respected business empires in this city. Damian forced a smile. Thank you. Eleanor gently shook her head. I was not praising you. The smile disappeared. She continued. Many years ago, when your company was close to failing, someone made a private investment that saved it. Damian frowned. My bank arranged that. No, Eleanor replied. Your bank only delivered the papers. A large screen behind the stage lit up again. Old contracts appeared. Wire transfers, signatures, dates. Every document carried one hidden investor, Nia. A wave of surprise moved through the audience. Damian stared at the screen. No. His voice barely came out. No, that can't be true. Eleanor nodded. It is. She pointed toward the first document. Your first factory. Another appeared. Your second office. Another, the software company you purchased. Another, the loan that kept your employees from losing their jobs. One by one, every major turning point in Damian's career appeared before the audience. Every investment had come from a private charitable trust managed by Naya. Damian slowly stepped backward. "I never knew. You never asked," Nia answered softly. Her words were not filled with anger. They were filled with sadness. "I believed in your dream before anyone else did." Damian lowered his head. "I thought I built everything myself." "You built many things," Nia said, "but no one reaches the top alone." The audience remained silent. Many people who had admired Damian only minutes earlier now looked at him differently. Celia suddenly grabbed Damian's arm. "We should leave." He gently pulled his arm away. "No." She looked surprised. "They're laughing at us." "No. They're laughing at the man I became." Celia looked around. Every camera had turned away from her. No reporters wanted another picture of the glamorous mistress. They wanted the woman who had quietly changed thousands of lives. Without another word, Celia picked up her purse and walked toward the exit. No one stopped her. No one even noticed she had gone. The chairman stepped beside Nia again. "There is one last decision to announce." He smiled proudly. "Our foundation has chosen its next global president." Everyone expected another famous billionaire. Instead, he turned toward Nia. "We hope you will accept." The room erupted with applause. Nia looked surprised. "I am honored." "You have already been doing this work for years," Eleanor said. "Now the world simply knows your name." Nia accepted with quiet grace. "I promise to keep serving people, not titles." The applause became even louder. Damian remained standing alone. His expensive suit suddenly felt heavy. His award for business growth no longer seemed important. It looked very small beside the crystal award in Nia's hands. After the ceremony ended, guests gathered around Nia. Doctors thanked her. Teachers embraced her. Students asked for photographs. Business leaders requested meetings. Parents introduced their children. She gave everyone the same warm smile. No one was treated as more important than anyone else. Damian waited patiently until the crowd became smaller. Finally, he stood in front of her. "I owe you more than an apology." Nia listened quietly. "I judged you by what people could see." She remained silent. "I wanted attention." Silence again. "I forgot that real greatness is often invisible." Tears filled his eyes. "I hurt the person who loved me most." For the first time that evening, Nia's eyes became wet. "I did love you." The past tense struck him harder than anything else. He closed his eyes. "I know. I kept hoping you would remember the man I married. I forgot him." "You did." Another long silence passed. "I cannot change yesterday," Damian whispered. "No, but I want to become someone better." Nia looked at him carefully. "I hope you do." He looked up. "Can we begin again?" She smiled with kindness. But she slowly shook her head. "Some bridges can be repaired." He nodded hopefully. "But some are meant to teach us why they should never have been burned." He understood. She was not speaking from revenge. She was speaking from healing. She had already walked beyond the life that once trapped her. She no longer needed the man who had failed to see her worth. Weeks later, newspapers around the world carried the same photograph. Not of Damian, not of Celia, but of Nia, standing beside children opening a new science school. The headline read, "The woman who changed thousands of lives without asking for credit." Donations poured into the foundation. Young people volunteered in record numbers. Business leaders began supporting projects without demanding their names on buildings. One quiet act of kindness had inspired millions more. Damian also changed. He stepped away from the spotlight. He sold his luxury yacht. He created scholarship programs in the names of teachers instead of himself. When reporters asked why, he gave only one answer. "I finally met a person who showed me what success really looks like." He never mentioned that she had once been his wife. He believed her story belonged to her alone. Years later, Nia visited the first school she had ever helped build. Children filled the playground with laughter. The young waiter from the gala had become the school's principal. The little girl whose brother had regained his sight was now studying medicine. The bakery owner employed dozens of families. Every seed Nia had planted had grown into something beautiful. She walked through the halls with a peaceful smile. She never searched for praise. She searched only for hope. Before leaving, she noticed a small plaque near the entrance. It carried no famous company name, no billionaire's name, Only 6 simple words. One kind heart changed countless lives. Nia touched the plaque gently. Then she smiled and walked away. Some stories end with revenge. Some end with forgiveness. Hers ended with something far stronger. Proof that quiet goodness can outlive wealth, beauty, power, and pride. And in the end, the woman they tried to replace became the woman the world would never forget. Thank you so much for watching this story on Nawtale's YouTube channel. If it touched your heart, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who believes kindness still matters. Tell us your favorite moment in the comments, and let everyone know the country you are watching from. Until the next story, remember that the strongest people are often the quiet ones, and the greatest victories belong to those who never stop choosing kindness over pride.